Welcome to Motivational Humanity. You are not alone.
You know, I spent years trying to earn love, trying to say the right thing, be the right person, show up in the right way. Until one day, I realized something that broke me open. I didn't want love. I wanted approval. And there's a difference. Let's talk about that tonight, about what it means to stop wanting to be loved and start being real instead. You know, when I look back on my life, I realize how many years I spent earning love, not receiving it. I thought love was something you had to prove you were worthy of. If I worked hard enough, if I smiled wide enough, if I said yes when I wanted to say no, then maybe, just maybe, I'd be enough to keep it. But love that you have to earn isn't love, it's performance. And performance is exhausting. I remember a conversation I had with a woman after one of my talks. She came up to me and said, "Brene, I feel like people only love me when I'm useful. If I'm not helping, fixing, or giving, I disappear." And I looked at her. Really looked at her. And I said, then maybe it's time to stop trying to be needed and start trying to be known. That's the moment most of us are terrified of. The moment we stop doing the dance, stop bending ourselves into shapes that fit other people's comfort zones. Because what if they leave? What if we stop trying to earn love and all that's left is silence? But here's the truth that nobody tells you: when you stop performing, when you finally put down that heavy mask, you may lose a few people. But you'll find yourself. And that self, that unpolished, raw, real version of you, that's the one capable of receiving real love. You see, real love doesn't require you to shrink. It doesn't demand that you hide the parts of you that are too loud, too emotional, too complicated. It holds space for your contradictions. It says, "I see all of you, and I'm staying." But love that demands perfection isn't love at all. It's fear wearing a mask. And the problem with chasing that kind of love is you always end up chasing your tail. You'll never do enough, say enough, be enough, because the people who require you to earn love don't know how to give it in the first place. So stop trying to be lovable by someone else's definition. You don't have to earn what you already deserve. When you stop performing for love, you start discovering something better: peace. And that peace comes from knowing that your worth was never up for negotiation. You were worthy before you proved anything. You were loved before you did anything. And the moment you stop earning love, you start living it. Approval. That word sounds harmless, right? But it's one of the most seductive forms of counterfeit love there is. I grew up, like so many of us, chasing gold stars: teachers' approval, parents' approval, later bosses' approval, and eventually the quiet, invisible approval of strangers on the internet. And somewhere along the way, we start confusing approval with love. We start believing that if enough people like us, that means we're loved. If they applaud, it must mean we're valuable. But approval is conditional. It's always, I like you when you agree with me. I like you when you make me comfortable. I like you when you don't make waves. And the moment you stop performing that version of yourself, their affection disappears like smoke. Love, though, real love, says, "I love you even when you fail, even when you're messy, even when you don't say what I want to hear, even when you're still figuring it out." The danger with living for approval is that we slowly hand over the remote control of our lives to everyone else. We let them decide when we're enough, when we belong, when we're lovable. And that's a dangerous place to live from, because the moment someone disapproves, your whole identity starts to shake. You find yourself replaying conversations in your head, analyzing every word you said, wondering, did I do something wrong? Did I lose their love? But here's the uncomfortable truth: you can do everything right and still not be liked. You can bend yourself backwards, say the perfect words, show up with the perfect smile, and some people will still withhold approval. Because their love isn't about you. It's about their capacity to love. I learned that lesson the hard way. I remember a season in my life where I was saying yes to everything, every request, every invitation, every opportunity. And on the outside, it looked like success. Everyone seemed happy with me. But inside, I was resentful, exhausted, and disconnected from myself. It hit me one morning when I looked in the mirror and thought, I've built a life that everyone else loves, accept me. That's when I realized approval can never fill the space where love belongs. It's a temporary fix like sugar. It gives you a rush, then leaves you emptier than before. Real love, on the other hand, nourishes you. It allows you to exhale, to rest, to stop performing. And maybe the scariest, but most freeing moment in your life will be when you finally say, I don't need everyone to like me. Because when you stop needing to be liked, you start becoming authentic. And authenticity might not get you everyone's approval, but it will bring you the kind of connection you've been craving your whole life. You see, approval is applause from the crowd. Love is the quiet nod from the soul. One fades the moment you walk off stage. The other stays even in the dark. And that's what we're after, not the noise of approval, but the stillness of being loved exactly as we are. Sometimes, we spend so much of our lives chasing love from the wrong people that we fail to notice the love that's already around us. I see it all the time. People longing for affection from someone who is emotionally unavailable, someone who can never fully meet them, someone whose love is a drip instead of a stream. And in that chasing, they forget the quiet, steady, unwavering love that has been there all along. It might be a friend who shows up when no one else does. The one who calls, not because they want something, but because they care. Or a sibling who forgives you over and over again, even when you've hurt them. Or a child who still believes in you, even when you've doubted yourself. And for many of us, it's the spiritual love that's always present, the whisper in your heart that says, you are enough. You have always been enough. That love never judges, never walks away, never asks you to perform to prove your worth. But here's the thing, when we keep chasing love from people who can't give it, we start to internalize a lie. We start to believe that the problem is us, that we're not lovable, that we're too much or not enough, or too messy or too ordinary. I remember sitting with a woman in my office once. She was exhausted from chasing the love of her partner, who was never fully present. And she said to me, I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. I feel like I'm dying inside. And I gently told her, maybe it's time to stop looking where love isn't being offered and start looking where it already exists. It's a hard truth to swallow. The love you've been craving might have been standing beside you the whole time. You've just been too busy scanning the room for the wrong eyes to see it. The irony is heartbreaking and beautiful at the same time. The more we chase the love we can't have, the more we miss the love we already do. So tonight, I want to say this: stop longing for love that isn't available. Stop investing your heart in people who cannot or will not give it freely, and start opening your eyes to the love that has been patiently waiting for you. The people who show up, who stay, who see you, even when you don't feel like showing up yourself. Because when you finally recognize it, when you finally honor it, you realize something extraordinary. Love isn't about the chase. Love is already here. It has always been here. You just have to be willing to see it, to receive it, and to let it fill the spaces where you've been starving yourself for connection. And when you do that, the world changes. Not because the people around you change, but because you change. You start living from a place of fullness instead of emptiness. You start loving yourself, and the love you give and receive becomes real, tangible, and everlasting. Sometimes, the love we've been chasing our entire lives has been quietly standing beside us all along. It's time to finally notice it. We all want to be loved, don't we? It's a hunger that lives deep in the bones of every human being. But here's the thing, most of us want to be loved without ever being seen. We hide behind masks, carefully constructed over years of disappointment, rejection, and fear. We put on the clothes society approves of. We say the words that are expected of us. We smile when we're hurting, laugh when we're breaking inside. And then we wonder why we still feel lonely, why love always seems just out of reach. The truth is, you can't be loved if you're hiding. You can't receive real love if you're too afraid to be seen. The parts of you that you think are unacceptable, the messy, the broken, the unpolished, the human parts, are the very parts that crave and deserve love the most. And yet, we hide them. We tuck them away, thinking that if someone really sees them, they'll run. I remember a woman telling me once, Brene, I feel like if people really knew me, they wouldn't stay. And I said to her, exactly. And the question isn't whether they'd stay. The question is whether you can stay with yourself while being seen. That's the paradox of vulnerability. The more afraid we are to be seen, the hungrier we become for love. But the more willing we are to show up exactly as we are, with all our flaws, all our fears, all our contradictions, the more we open the door to real connection. It's terrifying, isn't it? To let someone see the parts of yourself you've been hiding. To speak your truth even when your voice shakes. To allow your heart to be touched without guarantees of safety. But that's the only way love finds its way in. We've been sold a lie that love is about perfection, about doing everything right, about earning affection. But love, real love, only fits through the cracks of our authenticity. It doesn't care about the polish. It doesn't care about the mask. It wants the real, trembling, messy, imperfect you. And here's the liberating part: when you finally allow yourself to be seen, you stop chasing love in the shadows. You stop bending and contorting to fit someone else's expectations. You start showing up fully alive, fully present, fully human, and in that space, the people who were never going to love you anyway fall away. And that's okay, because the ones who stay, the ones who remain in the light with you, that's real love. So, if you want to be loved, start by letting yourself be seen. Not just the easy parts, not just the polished parts, but the raw, vulnerable, complicated parts that make you you. Because until you show up fully, love will always feel like it's just out of reach. And the most beautiful, a brave thing you can do is let love in exactly where you've been hiding. When you finally let yourself be seen, that's when love can finally find you. At the heart of all of this is a simple, radical truth: you don't need to keep chasing love. You need to be love. So many of us live our lives in pursuit of it, thinking it's something outside of ourselves, something we have to beg for, earn, or fight to receive. But the truth is, the only love you can truly control, the only love that's reliable, unshakable, and lasting, is the love you cultivate inside yourself and the love you give freely to the world around you. Being loved doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't mean you're never angry or tired or disappointed. It means that you show up with compassion, that you speak truth even when it trembles, that you forgive even when it hurts, that you hold space for the messy, chaotic, human parts of yourself and the people around you. I remember a time in my life when I was desperate for love from people who couldn't give it. I was exhausted, empty, and constantly questioning my worth. And one day, a quiet voice inside me said, "Stop looking for love outside. Start giving it inside." It wasn't easy. I had to confront my shame, my fear, my insecurities. I had to sit with the parts of me I'd spent a lifetime hiding. I had to learn to love myself fiercely, tenderly, completely, even when I felt unworthy. And the moment I started doing that, something shifted. People began to show up differently. Relationships that were hollow became real. Connections that had felt distant became intimate. And most importantly, I felt whole, not because someone else loved me, but because I had learned to be loved. When you stop wanting love from the wrong places, you make room for the kind of love that's transformative. You begin to understand that your worth isn't dependent on anyone else's validation. You start living from a place of fullness instead of scarcity. You start giving freely, not from a place of need, but from a place of abundance. And here's the thing: being loved doesn't mean isolating yourself. It doesn't mean you stop forming bonds with others. It means you approach relationships from a place of integrity, presence, and generosity. It means you stop trying to manipulate others' feelings or earn affection and start offering your heart as it is, open, brave, and real. The truth is, the love we most crave isn't found outside ourselves, it's nurtured within. And when we become love, we no longer chase it desperately. We attract it naturally. We embody it. And we give it without strings, without fear, without the constant anxiety of whether it's enough. So tonight, I want you to hear this clearly. You don't have to be loved by everyone, and you don't have to chase love to survive. You just have to be love. The rest will follow. And when you live from that place, love no longer feels like a transaction, a performance, or a desperate plea. It becomes a state of being. It becomes peace. It becomes freedom. Because being love is not just the end of the chase. It's the beginning of a life that feels full, real, and infinitely worthwhile. When you stop wanting to be loved and start being love, everything changes. And in that change, you find yourself and you find the world. And maybe that's the most courageous act of all, to stop chasing love and start coming home to yourself. Thank you.